Hey, I'm Corey Cooper, and I chose to do my oral presentation for Mr. Carter in his PHI 240W1 class on hedonism. A little bit about hedonism. It's a philosophy that says we're all fundamentally motivated to experience pleasure. Hedonists believe only pleasure is good, so the only thing good in life is pleasure. Only what's pleasant or has a pleasant consequence is good because it gives us pleasure. And a hedonist's ultimate goal is to live a life full of pleasure, meaning from sex, drugs, whatever the case may be, anything for a pleasurable result, a hedonist will believe in. There's two major types of hedonism. You have psychological hedonism, which states that we're all somehow or another seeking pleasure. Even if we don't realize we're seeking pleasure, all of our actions throughout life is to get the end result of some kind of pleasure, some kind of pleasurable consequence. Ethical hedonism states that if we're not seeking pleasure, we're only hurting ourselves to experience pain. That if we're not seeking pleasure, we should be seeking pleasure because all hedonists want to avoid pain at all costs. The evolution of hedonism. Over time, it's got different variations, much like Christianity in religion. You know, you have Baptist Presbyterians. Well, hedonism's done the same thing. You have so many people in such a broad philosophy believing so many different things, but coming back to the same end result and believing the same thing. That is branched off the little different variations. But however, most modern day hedonists believe in getting pleasure as long as you don't harm others, which that's a good thing. So they'll do anything to get pleasure, drugs, sex, etc., but they don't want to harm others. Just some notable modern day hedonists, Johnny Cash, Oscar Wilde, and David Bowie. I thought that was pretty interesting. My problems with hedonism, I believe hedonism will cause health problems and spread disease. I mean, if everybody's out here having sex and just seeking pleasure, I mean, you're opening yourself up for diseases such as HIV or AIDS or other STDs. I don't think it's as fulfilling as first thought. I think that when you seek something and then get it, it's not as fulfilling as when you're not expecting something and get it. So that's a problem I have with the belief in hedonism. And I think you have to have a good balance in life of pain and pleasure. I think without pain, we wouldn't really know what pleasure was. So therefore, a hedonist is going to shy away from pain at all costs. So I think they're going to live a life with a little bit less pleasure than what they're seeking. My final thoughts on hedonism. I think it can be satisfying, but I think it's a dangerous way of life. I think you're standing on the edge. I really believe in the hedonism paradox, which states that people that seek something and then get it aren't as satisfied as people who aren't expecting it. It's like a surprise birthday party. It's always better to be surprised and have something planned. And I think hedonism is just selfish. I think if you have a family and you're seeking just for your personal pleasure, I think it's selfish unto your family and others. Thanks.